Being a new creator can seem like a daunting task, and don't get me wrong, it is a hard thing to do, but it can also be a fun and exciting adventure for anyone to go on. In this series, I'll be giving you tips and tricks to start your creating career, from starting your first level to large projects. The GD Editor is a very complex yet simple tool that can be used to create masterpieces and at the same time be used to create very simple creations. When starting out as a creator, a good place to start is creating a layout. Now when you make a layout, you shouldn't feel obligated to decorate that layout. Creating layouts can let you get a great feel for what your gameplay style is and your block structuring, as your gameplay building style might be something like Raffers, who uses lots of slopes in his gameplay, or it could be like LKH 2001, who uses many flat objects. When starting to design a level, it's perfectly okay to experiment with many different styles, as finding out what you're good at building and what you're bad at building can greatly help when you're creating, especially during the early stages of your career when you're still trying to figure out your style. So make sure to play around and find out what you're good at. Don't feel forced to make a design level or a simple level just because it's your first creation. When learning your style, it's a good idea to simply play around with structuring ideas or effects in a non-serious level, as simply trying out a block design in a 5x5 space can really show what you're good at. When you start out, it can be hard to come with ideas for creations. A good way to help ease this creator blockage is to play other players' levels to formulate ideas. Now I know you've heard it many times before, that stealing other people's designs are wrong. Well, you're right, stealing designs is wrong, but if you look at someone else's work for inspiration, it's perfectly okay and can be a good tool. A good example would be the modernistic style, as many people look to optical for inspiration when creating levels. Just make sure when you're taking inspiration from designs, you aren't blatantly copying them. When you're taking inspiration, your goal shouldn't be to replicate the design, it should be to improve upon and innovate it. Don't be afraid to ask others for help or advice, as most people are willing to help you improve, whether it be established creators or your friend of a couple years. When building, you should be focusing on one style. This will make your level have solid, fluid style, which makes it more smooth and organized. For example, don't go from a modernistic level to a design level. Making a simple level, although a good way to introduce yourself in the building, can be a detriment if you do not experiment outside that style of creating. Having a good song is very important to a level and can make it much more enjoyable to play, but this shouldn't stop you from using songs you like. If you want to go experimental using black hole metal house recordings through a wall on an iPhone, then go ahead and do it. Gameplay is just as important as the design to a level, so when building a level, make sure to play it a bunch of times to make sure it plays well. And if you go the extra mile, have some friends play it to see if they enjoy it or find any problems.